Hi, I'm Jeannie Kelly, your credit coach, and thank you for joining me on Credit Over Coffee. As you know, I'm a New York bottom line kind of gal, and I'm always talking about things in the moment. Most times, I'm sharing credit tips, but also other things, right? Because I like sharing what's happening in the moment, what I'm hearing a lot about, or what I'm doing, and what's keeping me busy. And I love to share that all with you. And so today, I want to share my book, my new book, Making It Happen, and I'm so proud of it. I'm proud because I was scared to share it, to be honest. I was scared to share part of my story, but I really, really believe that someone out there will read this book and it can make them relate. And if it can help them start a business and go after their dreams, it was worth every moment of putting it together. And I just want to mention for the video podcast that on the back of the cover, in the heart there, you'll notice I always wear this necklace, and I talk about it in the book. It's my dad's handwriting for a day that I met him in the city on his calendar book. So you'll see that in the heart of the book, and I have to thank Carol Pesci from Little Pink Press. She made this book come out magically on my birthday, and what a gift. So if you're looking to publish something, go check out Little Pink Press, Carol Pesci. Shout out to her. And I wanted to talk today, since I'm talking about my book, I want to share some things. And today I'm going to share things from the start of the book, and which is part of my story, right? What got me how I was raised, what got me into opening up my own business and all that good stuff. And the first part of the book, the first quote is a Disney quote. So if you don't know, I love Disney. I love using my imagination. And growing up, we went to Walt Disney World in Florida, and we went often, meaning I should say often for a New Yorker, about every 3 years. And that was where we vacationed. And that's how, I was raised with always dreaming big. And I absolutely love that I had that opportunity, and I carried it on with my daughter. And, my parents are from New York City. And at one point, when I was starting junior high, we moved upstate New York because my dad always wanted a farm. And so here he was, a New York City guy, iron worker, and he wanted a farm. And so did my mom. And so it was really nice change to, even though it was scary, you have your friends that you go to school with, and leaving them was hard. And back in the day, we don't have technology like we do today. But I always stayed friends with my bestie Celeste, who we would write letters back and forth and stayed in touch, and on summer vacations get together, or holiday vacations if they were long enough. It wasn't that far away, but for a kid, it seemed that you used to be able to open up your door and run around the block. It definitely was different. So growing up on the farm, I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I have an amazing brother and sister. I'm the baby of the family, and my brother is a talented artist, just such and a great student he was, and my sister, very talented, was a professor and wanted to teach, wanted to be a professor, very smart. And so when it came to academics for me, not so easy. I went to school more for a social aspect. School did not come easy for me. It really didn't. And I think looking back, it's life lessons that actually helped me, because I didn't want to feel not intelligent, right? But it was really hard for me to read for me to read a book. It was a challenge. And I admit that I didn't read a lot of the books that we were supposed to, because I could not take in what the words were on the page. And so when you realize that, and then you're just not a good student. And but all of your other friends just, excel and they have such an easy time. You have to learn other strategies of how do you fit in. And so school was like that for me. So listen, it is what it is, right? I had to learn how to be different, and I had to learn how to pass and move myself up each grade to just keep staying with my circle of friends. And that's what I achieved. So I let me tell you, when I graduated high school, I was really happy and I was proud that it was done and behind me. But during school also, and again, when you have a brother and sister who it all comes easy. My brother always knew he wanted to go to a college for arts. My sister always knew she wanted academic and keep learning. So it was easy for them to figure out where to go and what to do next. But it was not easy for me, because when the guidance counselor said it's time to take SATs, I just knew no way. I'm not college material. I'm hardly being able to handle high school. And this is just how my life was. And I remember they wanted me to take a test like, oh, let's see what things you like. And nothing seemed to fit. And I remember saying to the guidance counselor, like, listen, I want to make money. I want to make money. And I'm just, that's what I want to do. And instead of a counselor saying, okay, well, how do you think you can do that? And do you think you can open up your own business? Do you want to be in sales? Anything. Instead, it was, well, that's not how the world works. And so I just really felt lost and decided to go to a community college, which didn't work out well. And I didn't know what to do. And so that was really hard for me. And actually, what's so funny is the other day I got together with, I call them my squad, meaning the girls that I went to school with, and we still get together, and which is beautiful. And we were talking because we were talking about my book. So here I wouldn't read a book. Meanwhile, now I want to write books. And also that you usually will see, and if you follow me on social media, you'll see I'm posting about a book that I may be reading or that I'm going to interview someone for the podcast. And they're shocked. And they're shocked because I didn't want to read a book. But one day I found myself loving in the Barnes and Noble the section of self help. And I didn't even know those books existed. A friend mentioned The Secret to me. And as soon as I read The Secret, after maybe 15 pages, I couldn't put it down. And I really believed that The Secret, when I did get that book, which was, I must have owned the company at that point, maybe a year or two. And I just felt like this is the secret. I think I've known this secret. I just didn't know it was a secret. It's just what I do. Now that I know it, I'll just do this more often. And so that's how, I read that. I also love business books. I love Think and Grow Rich. So you will find me in that section of the bookstore. And we just had a chuckle about it because you never know. Here you think, you have these challenges and you just never know when you fast forward, what's going to happen. And you have to be open to it. And I always, again, talking about Disney and my imagination, I always dreamed big. And I do that not for always just hitting that goal, but enjoying the journey along the way. Not saying life is always perfect. I've had so many challenges, right? But when I had them, I didn't stay stuck in them, and I wouldn't stay focused on the negative except to learn from it, right? Or if a health issue arises, right? Let's just thank God each day that we have the gift of life, right? So no matter what the challenge, I try not to stay in that negative space, and I want to move on. And you don't, in the moment, you don't know, but if you I try to think of the other things and use my imagination of how can I change the situation, which was if I walked into a boardroom, okay, and I own the company and I'm trying to pitch an idea, I know I'm not the smartest gal in the room. And that's okay, because I want to surround myself with others who do things that I have no idea how they did them, how they got there, but if we could all work as a team. So, and being the underdog, I was used to it from school. So when I walked in that boardroom and I knew I'm presenting my authentic self and how I would like to do things. And that's how I want to grow. I don't want to grow being someone different or doing it a way that doesn't feel comfortable. It's so easy for me to continue to build and grow because, again, you use what's around you, right? And so if obviously I surround myself with others who know things that I don't know, but we can work together and we can keep growing. And so I talk about that in the first chapter of the book, all the stuff that I'm talking about. And then at one time, I learned about Mary Kay Cosmetics selling it, and I was younger back then, and it gave me a chance to understand that I didn't need a college degree to build this business. I didn't need a different brand. Uh, I didn't need a lot, right? I could learn, and this wonderful, amazing leader of mine, Betty Gilpatrick, she really showed me about these business books and how to build a business. Within, I really learned so much from that chapter in my life, and I'm so grateful to her and all everybody who was part of that chapter of my life, because you can keep dreaming big. I talked last week about a side hustle, right? I talk about doing more than one thing in your career, because sometimes financial hiccups happen and we have to be prepared for them. Also, tell me or think of a few people that you look up to as business mentors. Tell me if they just do one thing, or just right for one thing, for an avenue of income. Most people do not. They're always doing other things. And you may know someone for one thing, right? Like you may know me over credit, right? And I'm so grateful for that. But that doesn't mean that's all I do, right? So I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I build a team with projects that I'm working on. I'm always talking about the legal plans and ID protection. We all need that. And I talked about that last week, so I don't have to repeat that, but I'm always looking to keep growing, but not for myself only. Same with the book, not for myself, to share that it's okay if you've been distracted. It's okay if you're off schedule of your goal. It's okay to start late. It's okay if everything's not perfect, if everything's not lined up the way you thought it would. But what's not okay is if you don't start. I want you to keep making it happen, whether you have to do it one time, 5 times, 10 times, but keep making it happen. Because when you work on your goals, personal goals, business goals, financial goals, when you're working on something, sometimes I don't want to say I'm obsessed or consumed with a project, but sometimes I'm focused so much on it, because then it's just easy to talk about, easy to keep focusing on, easy to fit into my hectic, distracted schedule. but I won't get distracted on my own goals and my own dreams. I might sometimes steer off course a little, but I'll get back in the right lane because I want to make sure that the focus still goes to helping others. Can't do it alone. You you can't win any games alone. I talk and I'll talk about other chapters of the book in another podcast, but I just wanted to share with you a little bit of the beginning story about myself, and there's so much more inside the book, and I'm just so excited to share with you. Please keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming. No, again, join my team. There's a link in my Instagram bio. You can always message me there. That is where I'm hanging out most of the time when it comes to social media right now. And so I will answer your messages. And thank you so much for tuning in. Share this podcast, subscribe, like now, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.